on, it's another 6. The Rovers over. It's going to give it, you know. Rovers are over.
John, second Super League team we've played in these middle eights qualifiers and another heavy defeat. What are your thoughts on that game today?
There's some good things in there and there's some bad things with regards to the overall team performance. I thought attacking wise we caused the opposition some problems. I thought we didn't roll over and play dead. I thought we scored some really good tries at the back end through just effort and endeavour, but yeah, it's just not. It's not what I expect. I expect a lot more from them, and I expect a lot more from the team and from individuals. I think that we've come up against the champions, and then not so long ago league leaders, winners as well. So, you know, we've got the toughest start out of anyone, and we've got to pick the positives out of it. And there are, you know, we've got some players that have looked comfortable at this level. You know, we've got a few blokes that have played well against Leeds and played well against Huddersfield today. And we've got a couple of blokes who look like, you know, that this is a little bit uncomfortable for them. And I get that. We're playing against two really good teams, and I get that, you know, some individuals, maybe as a team, we might not be good enough. I get that as well. I understand that, but I don't understand and I don't accept conceding 60 points every week. That's not good enough. You know, as you can tell, I'm boiling, but I got to get some stuff off my chest, and I got to get to some individuals as well, and let them know that yeah, we've done well, and we're pleased with a top 4 finish. That's great. Just thumbs up. We've achieved what we set out to do, but what do we do next? Do we just mumble and bumble our way along until that last game? Because there's some fans over there that were singing and stayed back and spent good money and were absolutely brilliant. And I think they deserve a little bit more. I think I deserve, and Danny Evans and Billy Mallinson deserves a little bit more as well. And if we've got some blokes who are happy that we've made the 4, then the message from me is this is not good enough. We've got to have a real good crack next week, and we're going to have a crack at Lee. And I don't want to sound negative because we've had a great year, but I've got to push this department. I've got to push and boot the club up the backside and drive it forward to be the best it can be. And I ain't going to be happy about conceding 60 points 2 weeks running. It's just not good enough.
And in that first half, Featherstone came under a lot of intense pressure in that first 15 minutes, and it showed. The defence eventually cracked. There was 2 tries went in. But then we responded with that John Davies try, and at 12-6, Huddersfield were looking a little bit shaky, weren't they? And do you think that at that point there was a time where Featherstone could have actually made Huddersfield doubt themselves?
I think there was always doubt there from Huddersfield because they're in the middle eights, and they haven't had the year that they've had, and they've changed the coach, and they got beat the week before. So, you know, there would probably always be a little bit of doubt there, but we never really exposed any of that doubt. We didn't put them under pressure for long enough. We spoke about learning lessons from Leeds and completing well, and our first 5 sets were crucial, and we hammered that home all week, and we managed to complete 1 out of 5, which is absolutely disgraceful. So then we end up defending really hard and really well on our line for far too long early on, and eventually, even though they might not have scored, it gets you in the end. We scored a try, we got back into it, was it 12-6 was it? And again we battled back, and it was similar story to Leeds, but then last 5 minutes we capitulate and they score 2 late tries, and it become 18-6 at half time, and second half's just a wash up then. And that's not good enough, you know. We're competing, and we're competing for spells in the game, but we're not competing for long enough. And we're coming up against the league team next week that are really good and are obviously confident in what they're doing. So they've got to be pleased with their form. We've got to do something about ours because, yeah, it's been a great year. The fans, we're giving them something to cheer about, but I need a little bit more. I need a little bit more from this group. Some are capable of it and some aren't, but whatever we've got to keep pushing hard and keep challenging the team and not compromising our standards. It'd be so easy for me to say, and it's been a great year, and yeah, well, Huddersfield are a good team and they played well today, but it's not going to make us any better. It's not going to make the team any better or individuals better. So, you know, there's going to be a couple of hard words to some blokes this week, but it's to try and improve them and to try and improve the club. And learn from, this week and last week.
And like you say, we are going to be at home against Lee next week. Lee beating Salford yesterday. Really good performance from them. Intense performance. Quite a lot of tired bodies, I guess, from the Lee players yesterday after that game. But they'll be coming into that game on a high. And it's your job, I guess, isn't it, this week to be picking those positives out and picking the players up to compete against Lee next week?
I think some of it's got to come from within as well. I think it's not just the coach's job to pick blokes up. I think a couple of blokes need to have a good look at themselves and say they're giving their best shot as well, because we're a team and we work hard for one another. But we've got some standards that we set, and I expect players to have standards, because the people that we recruited and brought in were high-class characters who had good standards and good attitudes to work. But today I'm seeing a couple of blokes just roll over and play dead, and that's not good enough. We're coming up against Lee next week. That's going to be really tough. Will we be talking about two championship teams playing against each other? Definitely not, because they dead set look like and operate like a Super League team. So we've got to get ready again. We've got to lick our wounds. Got to pick the group up. Got to get them ready for training for Tuesday. And we've got to be a little bit more resolute when things go against us, as opposed to just having that hangdog look and feeling sorry for ourselves. So we need to be desperate. They were desperate today. That team looked desperate today that represented the Giants, and we didn't, and that's not good enough. So we got some harsh words to a few blokes. Some individuals were great, and they won't have those conversations, but there's a few that at the minute are just letting the team down.